Nearly 30 years ago, I was a student at The Ohio State University. On the first day of my communications class, the professor explained the concept of an icebreaker, a fun exercise to boost curiosity, build community, and bolster connections. Our homework was to bring one icebreaker to present next meeting. At the next class, the professor asked for a presenter to go first. No response. The room was pin drop quiet until a voice cracked from the back with 2 words, "I'll go." Holding up 2 sheets of paper, my classmate announced, "My icebreaker is on active listening." A thought leaped into my mind. Active listening? Everybody knows how to do that. I reached into my book bag, pulled out my T.I.M.E magazine, and tuned out until I sensed a strange change start to take hold of the room. Giggles, laughter, ohs, ahs, and ahas. The room lit up. Looking up, even the professor was chuckling. The room was engaged in a buzz with energy, engagement, and enthusiasm. And I had no clue what happened. I tuned out and missed out because I did not take the time to listen. "Can you do one more?" a student asked. "Sure," said my classmate, holding up another sheet. The professor interjected, "Listen, class, we only have time for one icebreaker, but because that icebreaker was so good, you can do another one." The class cheered. I put away my magazine and tuned in to the instructions. My classmate gave us a word. We said the word aloud 1 time. We spelled the word aloud 3 times. We said the word aloud 1 more time. Then he asked us a question. As fast as we could and as loud as we could, we gave the answer to the question. The results were the same: giggles, laughter, ohs, ahs, and ahas. I saw how the icebreaker exercise energized the room. Today, I invite you to engage in the same icebreaker I experienced nearly 30 years ago. The instructions are the same. I will give you a word. We will say the word aloud 1 time. We will spell the word aloud 3 times. We will say the word aloud 1 more time. Then I will ask you a question. As fast as you can and as loud as you can, give me the answer to the question. If we're all clear, say crystal. The word we will say, spell, and say on my cue is the word smoke. On my cue. Here we go. Smoke. S-M-O-K-E. 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 Smoke. The white part of the egg is called the? The white part of the egg is the egg white. For the scientists in the room, the albumin. I did this with kindergartners. One of the students yelled, "The shell!" He was correct. This exercise transformed my life as a listening coach, trainer, and workshop facilitator. It taught me a lifelong lesson that I have carried with me for nearly 30 years, and I am honored to share it with you today. Here it is. Active listening takes T-I-M-E, time, an acronym for T, tune in. I, interact to increase understanding. M, make a deeper human connection. And E, enhance the relationship. Let's take each of these one at a time. T, tune in. When my youngest daughter, Natalia, was 8, she went to visit her grandparents in another state. Every night, she would call and see how I was doing. Everybody say, "Aw." One night, I arrived home very late. When she video called, I took the phone call while I was cooking dinner, doing dishes, and drying clothes, all while having a video call with my daughter. She picked up on my multitasking. She held up her right index finger, and after a few minutes, she ran off, and she returned back with a white styrofoam plate with these words: "I can hear you, but you can't hear me." My multitasking made her feel unheard, unseen, unlistened to. As M. Scott Peck wrote in the book, The Road Less Traveled, you cannot truly listen to anyone and do anything else at the same time. Active listening requires us to tune out distractions and tune in fully to the speaker. Who is hearing you and needs you to hear them? T, tune in, so that we can, I, interact to increase understanding. The deepest hunger of the human soul is to be understood. Active listening is not just active, it's interactive. Our conversational partners want to know we are listening and for us to show we are listening. As a matter of fact, when it comes to issues of interaction, right? Facing the speaker, asking clarifying questions, making eye contact, giving verbal encouragers like ohs, ahs, and ahas. These are interactions that increase understanding. On the other hand, interjecting, interrupting, or ignoring the speaker are interactions that decrease understanding. As Stephen Covey wrote, one of the biggest problems in communication is that people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to respond. A few years ago, I was attending a continuing legal education seminar, or CLE for lawyers. At the conclusion of the seminar, the coordinator asked for future presenters. I offered to present an active listening workshop for lawyers. I explained to the coordinator that active listening is one of the greatest skills rarely taught. Schools teach reading, writing, and speaking, but not listening. Listening is presumed to be caught rather than taught. I continued. According to the International Listening Association, only 2% of people have ever had any listening seminar training, or workshop whatsoever. And she cut in. And she said, "Sir, I've been married to a man for 41 years who could sure use your listening workshop. Where do I sign him up?" Today. I find it a fascinating fact that our hands can shut, our eyes can shut, our mouths can shut, but our ears are designed to always stay open. Open for growth, open to learn, open to listen, even to correction, to make a deeper human connection. As Muhammad Hadir wrote, speaking opens our mouths, listening opens our minds. When we tune in and when we interact to increase understanding, we open ourselves to make a deeper human connection. My family and I went to a Chinese restaurant for lunch. There I spotted a laughing Buddha statue. Grabbing my camera, I snapped a picture. And I made a comment to my young children, "Look at the long flowing ears. The Buddha must be a great listener." A voice broke in, "That's not what it means." It was the cashier. She came and stood in front of me and repeated herself, "That's not what it means. It means something deeper." Here I am in a restaurant receiving a public correction in front of my entire family. Rather than take offense, I took a breath and told her these 3 words: "Tell me more." She explained that the forehead, cheeks, chin, the shoulders, the belly, and yes, the long flowing ears are all interconnected. And together they symbolize fullness. Fullness as in living a full life. Fullness as giving full presence. Fullness as in paying full attention. From there, she shared about her country, her culture, her cuisine. I introduced her to my family. We became fast friends. It dawned on me that the laughing Buddha was actually a listening bridge to something deeper. Being open to listen, even to correction, became a bridge to make a deeper human connection. Every friend was once a stranger. Every neighbor was once new to the neighborhood. So every villain can become a hero, and every foe a future friend. If we are open to tune in, I interact to increase understanding, M, make a deeper human connection, to E, enhance the relationship. Please plug your right ear with your right index finger. With your left index finger, point to your heart. And please repeat this listening affirmation after me. Here we go. Nature has given me 2 ears and 1 mouth. so that I can listen more, so that I can listen more than I speak. You may unplug your ear. The reason I had you plug your ear was so that that listening affirmation would not go in one ear and out the other. I will never forget meeting with my classmate after class in hopes of getting a copy of his icebreakers. Nervously, I approached to break the ice. "Your icebreaker was great," I told him, and he thanked me. You may not have noticed, but I wasn't paying full attention when you did the first one. "Oh, I saw you reading a magazine." Embarrassed how that must have made him feel, I said sorry. Because Maya Angelou wrote, "People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel." Fortunately, he accepted my apology. I asked if we could go to the library and make a copy of his icebreakers. You see, back in those days, if you wanted a photocopy of an image, you went to these great big rectangular machines that gulped quarters, nickels, and dimes, and then belched out black and white photocopies. "Oh no, you don't have to do that." And he proceeded to place in my hands 2 sheets of papers, the icebreakers. I offered to pay him money as a compensation, but he would not take it. I was so moved and touched by his gesture that I could hear a voice, a small voice speaking to the ear in the middle of my heart. So I took the time to tune in, to interact, to increase understanding, to make a deeper human connection that would enhance the relationship. I reached into my book bag and I pulled out my magazine. And I proceeded to place in his hands the very thing he needed from me at the very start. T-I-M-E. I gave him my time, and he took it. We shook hands. We departed. We enhanced the relationship. The largest room in the world is room for improvement. An authentic apology, a sincere sorry, a heartfelt handshake can go a long way to help heal and enhance a relationship. It's never too late. You have the time. Listening can be the bridge to something deeper with coworkers, colleagues, clients, and customers, as with a calling daughter, a coordinator of a CLE, a cashier, or a classmate. Who needs you to hear them? It will neither cost you a quarter, nickel, nor dime. It only requires your time. Join the 2% who take the T-I-M-E to listen. Thank you for listening.